Hello, it's Jim O'Rear. Thanks for joining me for another video. This is episode 16 of Collectibles from My Closet. And what we do in these videos is basically show you horror collectibles that you may not have seen before, or maybe you have seen them but just forgot that they existed. And this is just a fun reminder of some of the fun toys that are out there. And what I normally do, as many of you know that have watched these, I will normally do a themed show, like this show is about Texas Chainsaw Massacre toys, or this is about Friday the 13th toys. But in my grab bag episodes, which is what this one is, it's when I don't have enough of items from a particular property to do a whole show around. So instead, I just kind of lump them together and do a mishmash grab bag of various horror collectibles from different properties. So that's what we're going to do here is part 3 of the horror grab bag mishmash. And we might as well start out with House of a Thousand Corpses. I love Living Dead doll figures. They're a nice mixture of horror and cartoon. And this House of a Thousand Corpses Living Dead doll of Captain Spaulding is great. Notice that it is not for sissies, though, just so you've been warned. Now, when you open him up, it's got a little saying there on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side is the Captain Spaulding doll. And Sid Haig, who played Captain Spaulding, was a personal friend of mine, and I love this face because the face captures that childlike baby quality that Sid always had in his real personality and mixes it with the Spaulding character, and I think it's just it's perfect. It's perfect. Funko Pop also came out with their Captain Spaulding, and I understand that they make a lot of bootlegs of this. That there's a lot of knockoffs. This is an original one. I got it right when it first came out, and I understand these original ones are worth a lot of money now. I'm not sure how much or why, but there you go, a little Funko Pop version of Captain Spaulding. Now, those of you who have watched a lot of these videos know that I'm a big fan of McFarlane toys, and so I'm going to show you a few more McFarlane toys that I have not shown in previous episodes. This is McFarlane's Pumpkinhead from the Movie Maniac line, and while I'm not a big fan of the Pumpkinhead movie, I do love the creature. And I love this McFarlane toy. I love the sculpt. I love the detail in it. I love how he stands. Just really cool. And this is a theme that you'll probably hear a lot through these videos, is that I don't really like the movie, but I like the monster. It's that way with Pumpkinhead. I love this monster, and I love the figure. He also, in the Movie Maniacs line, came out with The Fly. And again, not a huge fan of the movie, but I do like the creature. These are cool too. These little stands that he makes with like the Fly poster. It comes with little poster stands to go with the figure. Very cool. Neat little base there, and there's the Brundlefly. And I think what I like most about this figure, and what probably disturbs me the most about this figure, is look at those little hairs. Those little creepy hairs around his mouth and little things, and it's gross, but but I like it. Now this next one, not really horror, but it's a cool McFarlane line. It's Terminator 2 in the Movie Maniacs, and these figures are really neat. This is a Linda Hamilton figure, and you see that you can change her arm to hold different weapons. There's Schwarzenegger there as a robot, and his sunglasses come off, and you can see his red eyes underneath there as well. Really detailed figure in that. Look at all those little details and the tears in the clothing and stuff. Now here's the bad guy of this movie right there. There's Robert Patrick and his version. He comes with a different torso, so you can make a different version of him as well, and a couple of different arms if you want to give him some different appendages. So a lot you can do with him. And then there's the robot itself. And look, there's a lot of little details in there for a little plastic action figure. Very, very cool. So, like I said, not really horror, but it is neat from McFarlane. And since we've strayed just a little bit from horror, let me hang out on that edge a little bit more and show this. This is from Legend, and again, same story. I don't care for the movie. I think I've fallen asleep in it every time that I've tried to watch it, but I love this creature. And Tim Curry is this creature. The makeup was fantastic, and so is the figure. Figure is super detailed if you can look past some of the dust and stuff that's on mine from it sitting on a shelf for so long, gathering dust. But very, very cool figure from the movie Legend. Thank goodness they didn't make a Tom Cruise or something like that. And now we're going to move over here to one more, and this is a McFarlane and a horror headliner who's not a McFarlane. But since they're both from Scream, I decided to put them together. Let's look at this one first. This was a Spencer's exclusive from the horror headliner series, and these are kind of bobblehead figures. It's a series they came out with. They came out with Jason and Leatherface and stuff like that, and they're headliners XL, and they came out as limited editions. And when you turn it around here, you can see on the back, this is from 1999, and they all come with these little certificates that say what number they are, and this is number 10,625 of 15,000 that was made of this particular figure. And now getting back to McFarlane, again, doesn't disappoint. Scream, okay, it's okay movie. Again, though, I like the killer, and I like the detailing in this with the phone and the knife and the pose and the way he stands. And my favorite part's that knee, how he bends his knee and it sort of stretches the robe. But really cool figures from McFarlane's Movie Maniac. I'm a lifelong Marvel Comics fan. Tomb of Dracula is my all-time favorite Marvel comic. And from Tomb of Dracula came Blade. So, of course, I love Blade. And here's a couple of Blade things. I really like what Marvel did with the Wesley Snipes Blade character. And these next couple things are from Blade 2, which is probably my favorite in the Blade series, is the second one. I really love the first one, but Guillermo del Toro is fantastic as a director and writer and creator. This is from Blade 2, and look at that. It's like a Ken doll, except it's Wesley Snipes, and it's a pretty good sculpt. It looks like Wesley Snipes. I think it's a good job. Now, some of the clothing is a little bit questionable, the way that it's made, but I love the face, and I love the collector's edition box that it comes in. Then there's this motorized Twistums, and he walks around. You wind him up, and he walks around, and look, he has sword slashing action. Look at that, cha-cha, 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 cha. So he walks around and slashes his sword. I want to open it and play with it, because I really want to see him walk and use the sword slashing action, but then I don't want to open it. Now, since we're on the subject of Vampire Slayers, which Blade is, here's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and this was a more action collectibles kit set from Buffy, and I believe these were sold through Suncoast, maybe, Motion Pictures, and Media Play outlets, but it has 4 of the figures from Buffy, and that's a horrible looking Buffy, but I do love the Master, and they've got a lot of neat little accessories and things like that go with them as well. So for Buffy fans, that's a neat little 4-piece collector set from More Action Collectibles. Now, since I showed the Living Dead doll of Sid Haig earlier from House of a Thousand Corpses, we might as well take a look at Jigsaw. Just like a lot of popular horror franchises, not a big fan of the Saw series, but I do like Jigsaw. And this is the Living Dead doll version of Jigsaw from Saw. And just like the others, they come in a box. You open them up. It's got this one has some pictures from the movie on the left-hand side. And then it's got Jigsaw in the box on the right-hand side. And I really like this Jigsaw. He is one of the creepier Living Dead dolls, I think, in my opinion. Look at that face. I mean, that's a doll that I think probably gets up at night and walks around and kills people. I don't know. But that's why I keep mine in the box and won't get him out. I'm not taking that chance. I know there are a lot of Hellraiser fans out there, so these are for you. So this is Pinhead, and this is the NECA figure of Pinhead from Hellraiser. And Doug Bradley is a friend of mine too, and I think this looks just like him. When I look at that toy, I go, that's Doug. So it's a very good likeness. To me, NECA figures are hit and miss. Sometimes they're really good. Sometimes, This one I think is really good. Now, you might remember the Screamin' model kits that came out in Fangoria magazine. I've shown some of those on previous episodes. They came out with a Pinhead, and we've already talked about my model making capabilities and how they suck, but this is my version of Pinhead, painted and everything there from one of the Screamin' model kits, and they sold a bunch of these. I think they were like $50 a piece. They're all made out of vinyl, and they had Pinhead and Leatherface and Freddy, Jason, several things like that. Now, not Hellraiser related, but since we're talking about models and my crappy model making abilities, here's another model, and this is a Janus model, and it is John Barrymore in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I just think it's a cool old classic character model that you don't see the classic, especially like a John Barrymore kind of thing. So I love this model, and it's got his hat comes off so you can see his little egg head, and again, crappy paint job because I'm not good at it, but I just do it for fun. I like to have fun with it. But that's a neat little model kit right there as well for classic horror.
And now let's just take off on a tangent and show a few, I guess, not a whole bunch, of toys that are not connected in any way at all. They're just horror toys.
This is one of my favorite cars ever. It's the old 58 Plymouth Christine. And I've always loved this car. Anyway, and then to see it used the way it was in John Carpenter's Christine was a lot of fun. So that's a neat little Hot Wheels collectible car. Now, Full Moon came out with several characters from their films, and this is Castle Freak. This is another one. I'm not a huge fan of the movie, but I do like the figure. And the figure, I don't know, there's something about it. It's very crude and simple, but I think it's neat. It's got the real hair stuck in. Well, it's not real hair, of course, but it's got hair stuck in there, which makes it a little unique as well. I love the stone slab and the chains that he's tied to there. So, pretty neat little Castle Freak figure. Now, for Godzilla fans, here's a Godzilla mini bobbler, and this is just a little mini guy. Look at him right there. He looks like a little lizard. He's like, "Hi, I'm here to destroy your town." But cute little Godzilla. I like him. He's one of the another one that I've debated on taking him out of the package or not, but super cute. And then one of my favorite horror comedies ever is Shaun of the Dead. And this is Shaun. I believe this is a NECA figure also, and they sort of get it in the face. Doesn't quite look like Simon Pegg, but it does at the same time. I love the albums here at the base that they've thrown at the zombies, and this is before he gets a lot of red on him. He's just got a tiny bit of spatter. But there's Shaun from Shaun of the Dead.
There you have it, episode 16 of Collectibles from My Closet, which is part 3 of the horror grab bag. I hope you enjoyed seeing these toys, and maybe you have some of them, maybe you don't, maybe you need to go look for some of them now. But I want to thank you again for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, just click on the like button and click on subscribe, and join me back here for more videos in the near future. Thanks for watching, everyone. You can try the trick in your magic book, but the